In the world of electric cars, few names are as familiar as the Nissan LEAF. For more than a decade, the LEAF has been one of the most recognized and accessible EVs on the road. It wasn't the flashiest, it wasn't the fastest, but it was often the first taste of an electric future for thousands of drivers worldwide. Now, with the debut of the all-new 2026 Nissan LEAF, Nissan wants to prove that this familiar pioneer isn't just staying relevant, it's stepping forward into the next generation of everyday electric mobility. So buckle up, subscribe to Ride and Drive Motors if you haven't yet, and join us as we dive deep into a Motor Week-style first look at the 2026 Nissan LEAF. What's new, what's better, and why Nissan believes it's ready to shine in an increasingly crowded EV market. Let's start with the first thing you'll notice: the design. The old LEAF was, well, let's just say it was never going to win any beauty pageants. Its quirky, bulbous styling made it instantly recognizable, but also polarizing. For 2026, Nissan has tossed that old look out the window and given the LEAF a serious glow-up. The new design language is sharp, clean, and unmistakably modern. It borrows cues from Nissan's Ariya SUV, blending aerodynamic lines with a lower, sportier stance that signals this is no longer just an eco-appliance. It's meant to look good pulling into your driveway too. Up front, you'll find a sleek, closed-off grille, signature LED lighting that forms a bold V-motion shape, and a lower fascia that channels air smoothly along the sides. From the side profile, you'll notice a slightly longer wheelbase and more pronounced shoulder lines, giving the LEAF a more planted look. The designers have pushed the wheels to the corners, giving it a wider track and a sportier vibe, something the old LEAF never really had. Out back, the new LEAF ditches the high, rounded hatch for a more coupe-like taper, highlighted by a full-width LED light bar that brings it in line with Nissan's latest design trends. Overall, it's fresh, more premium, and a big leap forward for a car that once looked more like a science experiment than a contender in a stylish EV market. Slip inside, and you'll see the same story continues. The 2026 LEAF's cabin is a massive step up in materials, layout, and technology. Nissan knows that EV buyers now expect more than just efficiency. They want comfort, connectivity, and a bit of wow factor. So, the new LEAF delivers with a minimalist dash, a large floating center touchscreen, now up to 12 inches in higher trims, and a fully digital driver's display that can be customized to show everything from range and battery status to navigation and driving modes. Physical buttons are still there for climate and key controls, a smart touch that many drivers still prefer over endless swiping through menus. The seats are redesigned too, with Nissan's zero-gravity cushions that aim to reduce fatigue on long drives. Depending on the trim, you'll find recycled fabrics, soft-touch materials, and tasteful ambient lighting that gives the cabin a calm, modern feel at night. Rear legroom gets a boost thanks to that longer wheelbase, and cargo space has been improved too, addressing a common complaint of the older LEAF's limited boot capacity. For families or commuters who still need practicality, the 2026 LEAF finally matches style with function. Of course, the biggest story is under the skin. What powers this next-generation LEAF? Gone is the old 40 kilowatt-hours or 62 kilowatt-hour battery pack setup. Instead, Nissan has moved to an all-new solid-state battery for the top trims, while lower trims still use an improved lithium-ion pack with better energy density and faster charging is quicker too. Thanks to the new battery architecture and upgraded onboard charger, the LEAF can now handle up to 175 kilowatts DC fast charging. Plugged into a high-power charger, you can expect to top up from 10% to 80% in around 20 to 25 minutes, a massive improvement over the old model's more modest charging speeds. For home charging, the onboard AC charger now supports up to 11 kilowatts, cutting overnight charging times substantially if you have a compatible wall box at home. On the road, Nissan promises that the 2026 LEAF isn't just about range and efficiency, it's about driving enjoyment too. The new electric motor options deliver between 150 and 215 horsepower, depending on the trim, with instant torque that makes city driving feel lively and overtaking smooth and stress-free. The LEAF's engineers have reworked the suspension too, aiming for a better balance between comfort and handling. Early test drives suggest the new Leaf feels more planted in corners, with tighter steering and improved ride quality over rougher roads, important for drivers in markets with variable road conditions. One feature returning, and upgraded, is Nissan's signature e-pedal. This allows for one-pedal driving, where lifting off the accelerator slows the car down aggressively enough to bring it to a complete stop without needing to touch the brake pedal in most situations. In the 2026 Leaf, this system is smarter, smoother, and adjustable. You can choose how strong the regenerative braking feels, tailoring it to your preference whether you're cruising on the highway or navigating stop-and-go traffic in city centers. Safety and driver assist tech get a major boost too. The 2026 Leaf packs Nissan's latest ProPILOT Assist 2.0, which combines adaptive cruise control, lane keeping, and limited hands-free highway driving under certain conditions. Cameras, radar, and LiDAR sensors work together to help the Leaf maintain lane position, adjust speed, and even change lanes automatically when the driver signals. It's not fully autonomous, but it's a big step forward in easing the stress of longer commutes or heavy highway traffic. Inside, the tech continues with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, multiple USB-C ports for fast charging your devices, and an available premium Bose audio system that transforms the silent cabin into a rolling concert hall. Over-the-air updates mean your Leaf software can stay fresh for years, with improvements to driving aids, infotainment features, or even range optimizations delivered while you sleep. Beyond the tech and specs, there's a bigger story here: how the Leaf fits into Nissan's push for sustainability and carbon neutrality. The company plans to use more recycled and sustainable materials throughout the car, from seats made with recycled PET bottles to bio-based plastics in trim panels. The production process itself is greener too, with Nissan's factories aiming for carbon neutrality by the end of the decade. This is all part of Nissan's Ambition 2030 plan, which sees the company rolling out more EVs and even pushing into solid-state battery production on a global scale. So who is the new Leaf really for? Well, Nissan wants it to be the accessible, everyday EV, the one that finally makes electric driving practical for the widest group of people. If you're a daily commuter who wants a reliable, affordable EV that won't break the bank but still delivers good range and comfort, the new Leaf ticks those boxes. If you're stepping up from an older Leaf, you'll notice the difference immediately. More range, faster charging, more space, and a far more premium feel inside and out. But the competition is fierce. In 2026, the Leaf isn't alone anymore, far from it. Tesla's Model 3 continues to dominate the affordable EV segment in many countries, offering longer range, faster charging, and a vast supercharger network that's hard to beat. Then there's the BYD Seal and Dolphin, the Volkswagen ID.3 and ID.4, the Hyundai IONIQ 5, and the Kia EV6, all strong rivals with sharp styling, advanced tech, and loyal followings. So, does the Leaf stand out enough? Well, on paper, its improvements in range, faster charging, and much better design put it right back into the conversation. For loyal Nissan buyers or those looking for a no-nonsense EV that does the basics very well, with a few pleasant surprises, the new Leaf is suddenly a real option again. In markets like Saudi Arabia and the wider GCC, the 2026 Leaf could play a special role too. While many buyers here love big SUVs and luxury sedans, there's a growing push for affordable electric options, especially for city commuting. With more charging stations rolling out every month and new government incentives encouraging EV adoption, a practical hatchback like the Leaf could become a popular second car for families who want to cut fuel costs and enjoy the smooth, silent drive only an EV can offer. Plus, its smaller size makes it ideal for navigating busy city streets and tight parking spaces, an underrated benefit in crowded urban centers. Price-wise, Nissan hasn't officially revealed final figures yet, but early estimates suggest the 2026 Leaf will start around the same price as a well-equipped compact petrol car, with higher trims naturally commanding a premium for the longer-range solid-state battery and advanced tech. Factor in lower running costs, minimal maintenance, cheaper charging compared to fuel, and potential tax incentives, and the Leaf remains one of the most accessible ways to join the EV revolution. So, what's the verdict on our Motor Week style first look? After spending time with the specs, the design, and early test impressions, it's clear that the 2026 Nissan Leaf is exactly what it needed to be: a smart, sensible evolution of one of the world's most important electric cars. It's more stylish, more spacious, more advanced, and crucially, it fixes the main drawbacks of the outgoing model: limited range and slow charging. Will it be the flashiest EV on the road? Probably not. But will it be the affordable, dependable electric hatchback that gets thousands of new drivers to ditch gas for good? Very likely. As always, we'll keep our eyes out for real-world driving reviews and long-term tests once the new Leaf hits the streets later this year. Will the range hold up in hot weather? Will the new battery tech be as robust as promised? And how will the resale values stack up in an increasingly competitive market? These are questions we'll be exploring in future videos, so make sure you're subscribed to Ride and Drive Motors to stay updated on every twist and turn. And now, we want to hear from you. Would you consider the new 2026 Nissan LEAF for your next car? Does the improved range and design change your mind about electric hatchbacks? Or would you still choose something sportier like a Tesla, or a sleek BYD, or maybe an SUV like the IONIQ 5? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and share this video with friends who are curious about the next big thing in electric driving. For now, that's all from us here at Ride and Drive Motors. Thanks for watching our first look at the 2026 Nissan LEAF, the comeback kid of the EV world. Until next time, drive safe, charge smart, and keep enjoying the ride. See you on the next one.